In another case on this channel, German interests in Upper Silesia, we described how at the end of the First World War, certain German lands and assets were transferred to other countries, including Poland. One of those areas was Upper Silesia. Following a referendum, most of that area returned to Germany in the early 1920s. A smaller area remained with Poland. A key German asset in that area was a chemical factory which manufactured a number of important chemicals, principally nitrates, which were important for fertilizer and also explosives. The factory had initially been developed as part of the German war effort, but then ownership was transferred to two German companies, and the court previously found that Poland had no right to strip those companies of their asset. The parties were unable to reach an agreement about the payment of compensation by Poland to the German companies. Poland basically argued that even though it was in the wrong, there was no specific provision requiring it to pay compensation. Germany stepped in on behalf of the companies and returned to court. The court found that Poland should pay compensation to the German companies, stating, "It is a principle of international law and even a general conception of law that any breach of an engagement involves an obligation to make reparation. Reparation is the indispensable complement of a failure to apply a convention." They went on to make some observations about how those damages should be calculated. They said, "Reparation must, as far as possible, wipe out all the consequences of the illegal act and re-establish the situation which would, in all probability, have existed if that act had not been committed. Restitution in kind, or if this is not possible, payment of a sum corresponding to the value which a restitution in kind would bear. Such are the principles which should serve to determine the amount of compensation due for an act contrary to international law." This case therefore states that there is no need for a specific provision or rule to say that damages or reparations are payable in international law. Any breach which causes harm establishes a basis for damages. Second, the damages should reflect what the situation would have been if not for the breach. So, if there are ongoing losses, damages are calculated at the time of the judgment, not the time of the breach.